Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Green Bay Packers all-time leader in rushing, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, here to talk a little Packers Bears recap. We're going to hit the PFF grades. Before we do that, we're going to dive into some huge, and I mean absolutely huge, quarterback news / updates for the Green Bay Packers. We'll lead off with that. We're also keeping an eye on this Steelers-Lions game. Obviously, could play a huge role in the Packers making the playoffs. Right now, Pittsburgh leads 22-10. So we'll make sure that we give you guys the updates there. When that game wraps up, we'll show you the all brand new updated playoff implications, all that good stuff, kind of walk you through that information and talk that as well. Then we'll wrap it up with the PFF grades. So before we do, if you guys would do that YouTube stuff for us, hit like, hit subscribe. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, welcome. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're fans just like you talking Packers on a daily basis. So if you're looking for that type of content, if you're looking for breaking news, you're looking for film breakdown, pregame shows, postgame shows, NFL draft coverage, free agency, the whole 9 yards, we go 365 a year. So make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know when we do go live. Huge play there from the Detroit Lions. They are now in Pittsburgh territory down to about the 34-yard line. We'll revisit that in a minute. Tim, you doing all right, bub?
As good as you can be after what we dealt with yesterday, right?
Absolutely, man. I think you say it best. Let's waste no time because I definitely want to get into the end of this game, but I want to cover this news right out of the gate. So we all know, right, about the injuries yesterday, obviously, to Jordan Love and then, of course, Malik Willis. Let's start with the Jordan Love front and what we know there. Rob Demovsky tweeted out, of course, Matt LaFleur had a press conference earlier today. Packers coach Matt LaFleur said Jordan Love is still in the concussion protocol. That's a process that takes multiple days to get through. We all know that, right? LaFleur added, it sounded like he's doing better. He said he hadn't talked to Jordan yet, but according to the doctors, he's doing a lot better. So the good news there, Tim, there's no significant damage, another injury. We were a little concerned about the neck, some other things that might have been involved in that. You know, you never know. Could be a little bit of a chest injury when the defender lands on you like that too. Sounds like it was just a concussion. That's good news. However, you know how this concussion protocol goes, man. If he doesn't clear this thing by the end of the week, then guess what? You're on to your backup quarterback, and we'll talk about who that backup quarterback might be here in just a second. Any initial thoughts on the Jordan Love concussion protocol situation here, man?
It's going to take time, and that's all we can do is wait, right? I think this is Jordan's second or third that he's had as a pro. You know, concussions are serious, and that's why they take them seriously. So I think it's just time is going to tell. We're going to get a real good idea here as the week progresses going into, you know, next Saturday's game. So to me, it's a day-to-day thing. You know, whether he clears the protocol or not is still up in the air, you know, before Saturday's game. We don't know. But I think we'd have a better idea, you know, in the next maybe three to 4 days, get a little more clarity with how things are going with him. But it's tough, man. You just wish him the best. Hope he gets better soon.
Yeah, and typically it's kind of coming right down to the wire when it comes to concussion protocol for other players. Now, is the quarterback position a little bit different? I can't think of a time where a player was kept out multiple games because of concussion protocol that played the quarterback position, other than someone like Tua, who's had multiple concussions, right? So again, if you guys have information on that, let us know in the comments. Wes Hawkowitz tweeted out, LaFleur hasn't talked to Love today. We just talked about, sounds like he's doing better based on the conversation they had. And then, of course, we just kind of covered that a little bit there. He confirmed he was in protocol as well. So we got multiple people reporting that. Now, this is the part that's concerning to me, Tim. Let's say Jordan doesn't clear concussion protocol, right? Let's just say that doesn't happen. What happens next? Well, we got Malik Willis, arguably the best backup quarterback in the National Football League, right? Well, not so fast, my friends. Wes Hawkowitz tweeted out, LaFleur on how Malik Willis is doing coming out of the game. Quote, I'd say he's pretty sore. It's a legitimate deal that he's dealing with. He's another guy. We'll see where he's at as we progress. So Malik Willis landing on his throwing shoulder. Now, he did throw after that. He actually hit Jaden Reed across the middle on a nice little play. However, everyone's seen him on the sidelines trying to get that arm worked out. Tim, that arm, to me, it didn't look good. And I think that's played a little bit into how the plays were being called down the stretch there as well. Almost like they didn't just turn him loose at the end, right? So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And again, if this happens, if let's say Malik Willis doesn't practice all week and he's ruled out for this game, Jordan Love doesn't clear concussion protocol, I'm guessing it's Clayton Tune, or you go with one of your emergency quarterbacks that we'll talk about here in a second. Do you have any info that you know about when it comes to Malik Willis's shoulder, and how do you feel about that whole situation if Jordan isn't cleared and then Malik Willis can't go?
I mean, we didn't hear anything, officially yet, so I guess we'll wait for the injury report to see what it's listed at, if we get any kind of, deal on that. But did he separate the shoulder, right? Is there a strained muscle? Did he pull something? Deep tissue bruise kind of thing. Who knows? But you're right. It's going to affect the way he's playing. And if he doesn't go, I would assume that's what it is, right? We go to the practice squad and grab a kid who's never played a down of football in the NFL, right? And just see what the heck happens.
Yeah, he's got a stupid ass name too, Clayton.
Yeah, I know.
Man,
I know a guy like that.
I heard of a guy like it. I wouldn't trust him, let me tell you. So, I seen that come across the wire, and I'll be honest with you. I'm like, okay, if Jordan is concussion protocol and he can't play this week, I feel pretty good about our chances still with Malik Willis. And then that drop with Malik, and again, it's the quote that worries me from LaFleur. I'd say he's pretty sore. It's a legitimate deal that he's dealing with. He's another guy. We'll see how it goes in the progress. So that stuff right there, that worries me a touch. Now, I think there's more of a chance of Jordan playing next Saturday than not playing. Personally, I think he'll clear concussion protocol and he'll be back. I'm just simply saying if that doesn't happen, this is going to get really, really interesting on down the stretch. And I don't think people realize, Tim, myself included, just how close we were last night to kind of seeing what would that look like if we didn't have a quarterback on the roster, right? Like, if in this situation that, Clayton Tune obviously wasn't active last night. So what happened if Malik Willis couldn't play in overtime there, right? Well, evidently this is the plan. Bill Huber tweeted out that Matt LaFleur said at the press conference, Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed are the emergency quarterbacks. Now, a couple different things here. It kind of feels like that's why they held Josh Jacobs out there towards the end. We were concerned, oh, no, the injury's even worse now, right? I know I was concerned with that. Yeah. But now that this is coming out, it's like, okay, maybe that was them just being extra cautious to make sure they had their emergency quarterback. Does that make sense? So I feel like that's probably more on that than Josh Jacobs was too hurt to play. And like Matt LaFleur did say in his presser, Tim, Manuel Wilson was running the ball really, really well, right? So there was like no reason to go back to Josh, who we could see all over the tape he wasn't 100%, and he's your emergency quarterback too. So any thoughts on that there? I mean, I thought that was interesting. Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed. I thought it would be Savion, but Savion being a rookie probably doesn't have as good of a grab on the playbook as a Josh Jacobs or a Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed being our F for 2 years now, Tim, going on 3 years. This is the third year. Yeah. He's got to know everything that's going on in that offense. Obviously, choice routes attached to the F position and all that.
Yeah, and both of these guys can throw the ball, Josh and Jaden. But at the same sense, it's going to really affect your offense if we end up in that situation, right? How we're able to move the ball. But I kind of agree with you. I'm hoping Josh's knee is fine, and that him being held out was just in case we are in an emergency situation and we need him to go out there and be a quarterback. That's probably why he didn't get as many snaps towards the end of that game. And you're right, Emmanuel Wilson was running the ball really well. And it's crazy to say that it feels like our running back room has got more depth right now than a lot of our other position groups on this offense. So I'm just really hoping Jordan clears the protocol and this is a nothing burger and he's good to go on Saturday. Still holding out hope for that. Same thing with Malik. Hopefully the shoulder, it's not super, super serious and he's able to rehab and work through that and play a game at Lambeau Field against the Baltimore Ravens because we're going to need that win.
Yeah. No doubt about it, man. Let's see here. Packer Doug says Josh Jacobs in the Wildcat. I heard it's first option. That would make a lot of sense, right? You may even like your chances of running a Wildcat offense with Josh Jacobs than you would, say, a Clayton Tune, who, obviously a practice squad caliber quarterback there, right? So that would make a lot of sense in my opinion. J Dome in the chat said, I'd sit Jacobs next week. Well, first of all, you may have to if he's not healthy, right? However, this is what we talked about. There's no reason to sit someone now. If you feel like they can make your team better no matter what percentage they're playing at, now's the time to play them. Guys, the back's against the wall now. This Bears game was the game you had an opportunity to sit people because it's like, okay, if you lose that game, it's not the end of your season. But if you go out there and you re-injure, you hurt these guys even worse that are going out there playing injured, and you don't give them that extra time to get ready for the Baltimore game. Now, all of a sudden, you end up losing that game to Chicago, and you're twice as banged up. I feel like you've got to play Jacobs next week if he can be effective. That's the big thing, right? How do you feel about that, Tim, in terms of Josh Jacobs next week? Would you just sit him outright, or do you think, no, if he can go, he needs to be out there?
Well, it depends again on the quarterback situation, but I would say if he's – first of all, you know how he is. He's going to want to play. You're going to have to physically remove him from the facility if you think he's not going to try and see the field. So I get the logic, though, both ways, right? You want to sit a guy right now. I mean, we have injuries left and right these past few weeks, and it's devastating to your football team. And Josh Jacobs, clearly one of the most valuable offensive weapons we have, and a locker room leader, all of that. So you can err on the side of caution and sit him, but, you know, we don't want to be in a situation where we drop a game to Baltimore or Minnesota to end our season. And, you know, you end up saving Josh for, you know, a playoff run that never happens for all we know. So I say if he's good to go, put him out there.
Yeah. All right. Oh, back shoulder throw to DK Metcalf. All right. So if you guys are watching this video back later, we'll cut that short right there. Again, we wanted to get y'all as much information as possible on the quarterback situation. Things are getting really, really interesting there. So if you're watching this video back, let us know in the comments, how do you feel about the quarterback situation? Is it something that do you roll on with Clayton Tune if both of those guys can't go, right? Or do you kind of have him as the backup quarterback and just run a wildcat offense? Is that the approach? We want to hear from you guys in the chat. Let us know what you think. Also, make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click the bell icon so you know whenever PTA does go live here on the channel. All right, Tim, let's do this, man. Let's shift gears now, and let's just kind of hang out a minute and watch some football. You want to, and I think this is a good time to do it, as the Steelers just broke one off. Was that Warren? That was Warren for the touchdown, long touchdown run. How long was that touchdown run? My goodness gracious. So the Steelers are back on top, 28-17 over the Lions. Tim, I got some bad information earlier today. I did a live stream and was like, yeah, if the Steelers win this game, the Packers clinch a playoff spot. Evidently, that is not true. That makes makes it a 94% chance for the Packers to clinch a playoff spot. So, yeah. A lot on the line, nonetheless. You want the Steelers to win this game, but again, the Steelers are leading 28-17 with 6:41 left on the scoreboard there. So, have you been watching any of this game, Tim? Do you got this game on broadcast by chance?
I do not have it now, okay. But I was watching it earlier.
Gotcha. I'll keep you up to date here. Let's just kind of hang out and talk about what all this means. This should be the updated standings in the NFC as it sits right now. The Seahawks are the 1 seed at 12-3. They have clinched a playoff spot. You got the Chicago Bears in the 2 seed at 11-4. They have. It's not saying they've clinched the playoff spot yet. Like you said, if the Steelers win this game, the Bears will clinch the playoff spot. The Packers still have a shot to win the North as well. Philadelphia Eagles clinched their division, so they're in the playoffs. Carolina Panthers are sitting at 8-7. They won their game against Tampa earlier today. They're in the 4 spot, and then you've gotten the 5 spot with a playoff spot already clinched. Yes, playoff spot. The LA Rams at 11-4. They're in the 5 seed. The 6 seed is currently the San Francisco 49ers at 10-4. And then your Green Bay Packers are currently the 7 seed at 9-5-1, with the Detroit Lions on their heels there at 8-6. So again, if the Lions lose this game, I don't think they are statistically eliminated from the playoffs. You guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Let us know in there. But their back is really, really against the wall. It would take a lot going right for them and a lot going wrong for others in order to make the playoffs, obviously. So that's currently how the standings sit. So now let's just kind of switch gears here, and we will jump over. I'll put on the screen the actual box score so we can kind of keep up with the game as it goes along here. How do you feel about this, Tim? They're up 29-17. You're feeling pretty good about this right now, right? You can never rule those lines out, though.
No, you can't. And Pittsburgh's defense looks unstoppable on one series, and then the next series they're getting gashed down the field. So it's kind of up and down. But I'm feeling pretty good about Aaron and the boys taking care of business there in Motown.
Yeah. So there's the kickoff. So 30-yard return, and we've got it's Lions ball, and it looks like there are 6:36 left in this game. Let's go to the box score real quick and just see who's performing there. Aaron Rodgers, 26 of 39 for 253 and a touchdown, no interceptions, been sacked twice. Golf back to Pat.
He's washed. Rodgers is washed. He's so old and washed.
I'll tell you, man, he's still got that quick release, and it's so fun watching him work that RPO game. He just take him what the defense gives him.
Playing with a shattered wrist on his left hand, you know, like no big deal. Get it done.
Still tougher than a $2 steak. We got Zacchaeus. I hope I'm saying that right with the super. Appreciate the dono there. I'm going to go to his last comment. I don't know if he meant to put a comment on the super or not. If he did, he said he's clearly our best option. It's a bad coach. Just his play calling is frustrating at times. I think he's trying to talk about LaFleur. He's not a bad coach. It's his play calling is frustrating at times. For us, I think it's the only real knock I have against LaFleur as Goff dropped backs to pass 1st and 15. They got called for a penalty on the previous play, and Pittsburgh catches Gibbs for about a 3-yard gain, something like that. My biggest knock, and I think it's probably yours too, Tim, I'll get your take on this with Coach LaFleur, is I know there's a portion of the fan base that thinks he's not aggressive enough. I think he's too aggressive at times. It's like, take the damn points. How many times is that going to bite us in the ass? I mean, we've lost 2 or 3 games this year because you look back at the end of the game and go, well, we lost by 3 points and we refused to take 2 field goals. In last night's case, you turned down a chip shot field goal on a windy night where you knew those were going to be tough every attempt you took. And obviously you end up losing the game in overtime. If you had that 3 points, theoretically speaking, I understand the game can unfold different times, but you would have won that game, by 3 points essentially.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that's open for debate. I mean, there's people that think Matt's too conservative. There's people that think Matt's too aggressive. I'm somewhere in the middle. I do think he's a great head coach. I do think he's a great play caller. There are times when, you see a play call that you kind of can't understand why it was called, in that situation. But again, we're not coaches at the NFL level. We're not in those meetings. We're not in those film rooms. We're not in, offensive install, during camp and these kind of things. So I think you have to just, you got to just kind of take it as it comes, man, especially right now. I mean, you talk about how this offense is going to look if we've got no QB1 and no QB2, possibly. I mean, you're going to see a lot of jet sweeps. You're going to see a lot of, wildcat and, illusion of complexity in that type of an offense if, Matt doesn't have a true starting quarterback out there. So hopefully that doesn't happen and we get some good news on Malik or Jordan this week for sure.
Yeah, we get the Lions driving here. They just picked up 2 first downs back to back, one on a 3rd and 10. It's now a 2nd down that they're faced with right here, a 2nd and 5. We'll give you a little play-by-play, keep you up to date. Steelers trying to hold on to a 29-17 lead. All right, so we got Goff in the gun, sidecar left, little flex, dub set, back to pass, fires out to a quick out to the tight end. Looks like they picked up another first down and they're out of bounds. 4:32 left on the clock here, according to hopefully you guys are somewhat in sync with where I'm at here. Again, going back to what Goff's done today, 28 of 41, 291 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, no picks. He's been sacked 3 times for a loss of 18 yards. On Pittsburgh's side, though, boy, Jaylen Warren has gone off. He just had that long touchdown run. That helps the numbers a lot. But 14 carries, 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and I'll stay at the office there. Kenneth Gainwell's a good football player, too, man. Had a hell of a catch earlier today as well. Got Goff with a trip set right, back to pass, swing pass, like the play call, hits Gibbs on the run, and Gibbs is out of bounds at about the 3-yard line, I believe. Yeah, about the 3-yard line. So it's going to be 1st and goal for the Lions. Here they come, Tim. It's going to be a good finish here, man. It's going to be a real good finish. And it's tough, man, coming down the stretch. As a Pittsburgh play caller here, you got to be going, okay, the clock is your opponent, right? But at the same time, man, you don't want to get too conservative. Sprint right option, almost throws a pick as Jalen Ramsey bats the ball in the air. They went a little sprint right option with a little nub out on the right side, and Jalen Ramsey makes a great play. You know what I'm saying, Tim? You come down the stretch, it's like, okay, you want to run the clock, but also if you're too conservative, go 3 and out. Now the Lions have a chance to go down and win the ball game if they score here, of course.
Exactly. And where are they? Oh, man. Yeah, they're knocking on the door here. Yeah.
Go from the 4.
We might get another vintage Aaron Rodgers moment to close out a game in Detroit. Wouldn't be the first time we've seen one of those, right?
Well, miracle in Motown, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, second and go. We got Goff with a bunch right, bunch nasty, nub left. Now they're shifting to dubs, sidecar right. Goff back to pass, looks, fires, almost intercepted again. Little fire zone blitz. Looked like they dropped the big boy D tackle, 300-pounder into covers. That was awesome. Got his hands up, batted the ball down. I don't know if that was Hayward or not. I'm not sure who that was. But that was awesome. Dropped him back into coverage. Who was that? Looks like the name on the jersey's black, number 94. Yeah, hell of a play. So that was a fire zone blitz. He was playing a one-tech right. He done a little touch and drop, a little sugar. Boy, if he picked that off, that looked like B.J. Raji there, Tim. That was awesome. Wow, have mercy. All right, yes, they can't catch. I agree. J. Cole says the Steelers defense can't catch. All right, here we go. Goff back to pass. Surprise, surprise. He hit Gibbs for a touchdown off to the right. Gibbs is such a good football player, man. He's awesome, awesome player. So there you go. The Detroit Lions have scored. It's now 29-23. They are going to kick the extra point, I'm sure, to make it, 24? So it's a 5-point game, right? Yeah, no reason to go for 2 here, I can't imagine. Of course, you never know with Dan Campbell.
I was just going to say, Dan Campbell, you never know.
You know what? Take that back. Maybe you do, right? Because right now it's a 6-point game, right? You scored. Well, no, they took the 1 evidently. There you go, 29-24. So they did hit the extra point. I was trying to workshop that on the go here in case somehow, some way there's 2 different possessions. But this is going to come down to it, boys. 4-minute offense for Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. The running game is working, Tim. Now it's working because Aaron's got that RPO game kicking too. So going to be really interesting to see how they approach this here. I can't imagine it'll just be drop back passing. It'll probably be a RPO, a couple RPO looks attached to a run, I would imagine. Yeah,
definitely. You got to chew up some clock and you got to put together a drive and, hopefully not give Detroit the ball back the rest of the game if you can do it. And if you do it with under a minute on the clock, hopefully, and, get some more points on the board. Even a field goal here would be acceptable. Put some distance between you and Detroit, but they've just got to get a drive together here. Close this game out.
Yeah. Joe Pack Joe says, speaking of if going for 2, anyone shocked Ben didn't go for 2 last night as much as he said he would have the first game? It's an interesting question. I think we were all a little surprised that he didn't go for it, right, Tim? But to me, I think it said something as to maybe he didn't trust Caleb as much there down the stretch. Let's just go ahead and tie this thing up and let the Packers make the mistakes. Kind of what it felt like to me. You got thoughts on that? Because we had a conversation about that last night, right?
Yeah, it's tough to try and get inside Ben Johnson's head and what the hell's rattling around in there. But he did talk a little bit of trash about that previously, possibly doing it. But I think you're right. I don't know if it was just not trusting Caleb, but maybe it dawned on him that that'd be a hell of a way to lose a ball game when you have an opportunity to tie it up and try and get it done in overtime like they ended up doing, as opposed to going for 2 and getting stopped. I mean, we could have got a defensive stop there and, that would have been ball game for all intents and purposes. So I think maybe it's just Ben Johnson as a first-year head coach is, kind of coming into his own here with some of these game time decisions when you're out there. You don't have a lot of time to decide these things. We get to sit at home on our couches and, talk about what we would have done after the fact or before the fact or during a commercial break or something. You've got a lot going on the sideline like that. So I think they probably just ultimately played it a little safe. They had to come back to tie that game. So you don't want to blow that opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Steelers going to start at the 34-yard line, Tim. Here we go. They're going to come out in, looks like 13 personnel. 12 personnel. They just got a wing off to the right, looks like. Under center, Aaron Rodgers motions the U over. They're going to do a jet sweep to Jonnu Smith. What a call to the tight end. Look at this. Stay in bounds, big fella. That's a gain of about 15 or 20 right there, Tim. My goodness gracious. So that's great news for the Steelers. Love that play call. They had him lined up kind of like where we see Christian Watson. So that was a 13 personnel in there. And By the way, Washington, I know he's made a couple of mistakes today for the Steelers, Darnell Washington, but is he not fun to watch? Big 300-pound tight end.
That is a gigantic beast of a human being right there. He is not the fastest dude in the world. He doesn't have to be. He just runs right over people and right through people all day long. And he's got really good hands. He is fun to watch for sure.
They got number 74 in the backfield as a fullback right now. Out of the eye, Aaron play fake, rolling right, dumps it off. There's Washington. Oh, my God. The stiff arm. Oh, my God. He stiff armed a DB and ran through 3 defenders, bro, for a first down. So back-to-back first downs. What a play fake by Aaron Rodgers, too. My goodness, man. Absolutely awesome. There he is. Little fake misdirection. Sold the hell out of it. No pressure on him at all. Aaron's always done that so good. Just drops the pass in right over top of Aiden Hutchinson and let the big fella do the rest. We said Washington's name, and he popped right up here. Man, that was fun. That was fun. Stiff-armed the first guy into oblivion, ran through the second, put DJ Reed on his ass. Anzalone was hanging onto his heels like a little kid there. All right. Aaron under center. We got a Trey left look, nasty split. DK is out to the right. Aaron's going to use a timeout. So evidently didn't like the defensive look he got there. So the Steelers have 1 timeout left. Probably won't need it. It's going to be one of those things that if the Lions do get the ball back, they go down the field to score. Doesn't matter anyway.
Yep.
All right. So we got a 1st and 10 coming out of the timeout here in a second. Aaron looks pretty cool. He looks calm, collected. It's exciting watching Aaron Rodgers, man. To go into a new offense like that, jump right in and have this kind of success. I know they've only won, what is it? Is it 8 games? Yeah, 8-6. But I thought he's played really good football this year, man.
Yeah, considering all the injuries too, and they had some adversity there early on, and really put together a solid season. It would make me very happy to see them beat the Lions today, and maybe Pittsburgh can go on a little bit of a run. I mean, the AFC, it's kind of I don't want to say it's wide open, but we've got some new faces in the mix this year, right? You got Denver playing really good football. Buffalo's always going to be a factor, but I don't see that there's any reason why Pittsburgh can't go on a little run here in the AFC. So,
little toss play to Jonnu Smith. Oh, we got a flag though. Jonnu would have picked up about 9 yards there. Let's see what the flag is. Probably going to be a hold, I would imagine. That's killer. Oh, defense. There you go. So they run a little toss play. Evidently, number 98, DJ Reader, grabbed the offensive lineman, wouldn't let him pull, I would imagine. We'll see if they show it here. They're going back to a Rams call, evidently, against the Lions earlier today. So, again, Steelers in a real good spot here. 1st and 10 at Detroit's 20. Just kind of lean on them a little bit. They were a little more aggressive than I expected them to be on this drive. Ran a jet sweep, then a little play action pass. Yeah, Arthur Smith is definitely in his bag. Somebody said that just a second ago in the chat. Completely agree with that. All right. Here we go. Detroit season. Man, this, like I said, I don't think they'll be eliminated if they lose this game, but boy, it's coming down to the wire for sure. Aaron's got him back in that I set with the big boy fullback. Going to hand it off, and Gamewell is going to have a loss of about 1 or 2 there. So we're looking at a 2nd and 12, something like that. And I imagine, are the Lions going to use a timeout yet? It'll be 2nd and 11. I think they used a timeout, I believe. That's all.
Is that all of them?
What's that?
How many timeouts does Detroit have?
It's showing they got 2 left. The clock is running, so they're holding on to it. So they're holding on to it. So, yeah, the clock is now at 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Should be able to snap it somewhere around 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Aaron just canned at the line of scrimmage. Again, got another 12 look, with one of those being an extra offensive lineman to the right. Little toss play right. Gamewell's got it. Cuts back upfield. Picks up about 3 yards on that play. So now we're looking at roughly a 3rd and 8. And Detroit did use a timeout, Tim. So 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Detroit's got 1 timeout left. And, of course, they got the 2-minute warning as well. So I imagine they would probably let this run down to the 2-minute warning if they get a stop here. But, again, right now we got, a 5-point game, so the field goal makes it an 8-point game. So this thing still isn't over. Still isn't over. Packer Doug in here says Gamewell's touchdown before the half was amazing. It was unbelievable. Did you see that catch, Tim?
Yeah, that one I did see. That was incredible.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. This is a great question. J. Cole says, do you throw it here? Oh, man. If you do, it's got to be something short, in my opinion, where you're probably going to convert. That way it's as good as a run. I would go with some kind of RPO call here. They are in a gun. They've been under center most of this drive, so they probably will go with an RPO look here, I would imagine. They're in sidecar left. Washington, little zipper motion. He's strong right. Aaron, a little hard count here. Ball snap. They are throwing. Drop back pass. Aaron throws it up and away. All right, so they get to save that timeout. Of course, the 2-minute warning would have stopped it anyway. So essentially, it's like the Lions are going to get a free play or two here when they get the ball back because of the 2-minute warning, and they got a timeout in their back pocket. You got Boswell kicking this field goal. I imagine this is about as close to a money kick as you're going to get. If you guys are tuning in, we're just following along with the Lions-Steelers game here. Appreciate everybody jumping in here, making us part of your evening. If you would, smash that like button for us. Hit subscribe. Click the bell icon. If you came for the quarterback news, just rewind the stream. We hit that. That's in the title. We hit that at the top of the show. And now we're just kind of following along. We're going to give you guys playoff implications here in a minute. But feel free to share this with a friend as well. We appreciate y'all. All right. Let's see here. Chad in the chat says the seating is in complete disarray right now. No guarantees for anyone. Don't you love that too? This is what makes NFL football great, man. It's absolutely awesome.
Yep. That's why, like I say, you got to focus on what you can control out there because you never know. If you're depending on help from other teams, you never know how it's gonna go, right?
Absolutely, man. Tomlin looks pretty confident over here. I got a good buddy. Shout out to Worth if he's watching the stream. Big Steelers fan. Been a Steelers fan since the 70s. And I know he's fired up about this, seeing his guys turn this season around. All right, we had somebody walking off the field here, number 29 for Detroit. I'm not sure who that is. Just left hurt, but 37-yard attempt here by Boswell, one of the best kickers in the league. Let's see what happens. Did he? Oh, no. Tim, he missed it right.
What?
He pushed it right, my friend.
Oh, Christ.
That is one of the best kickers in the league. Fire Rich Bisaccia's ass right now. Get him out of here. Unbelievable, man. That is wild. Clean snap, clean hold, hit the goalpost, man. All right, boys. As Keith Jackson used to say, Tim, and we got a dandy brewing.
Well, we're going to see what this Pittsburgh defense is made of here.
Yeah. Tomlin does not look confident now. He looks a little bit pissed off, ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
All right.
Got to have that. How long was the field goal?
Oh, it was nothing. What was it, guys? Like a 34-yarder, I think?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and he just pushes it right. It's on the right hash, but, I mean, he just pushes it right. Clean snap, clean hold. Everything looked good to me. Didn't have to rush it. Nobody in his face. Wow. The clink heard round the world is what Chris says here. All right. Goff going to hand it off here. Gibbs almost gets away. Jalen Ramsey holding on to a handful of jerseys, so that's going to be a loss of 4 yards. I don't understand that. Well, 2-minute warning, I guess. They thought, hey, let's see if we can get something on the ground right here. 36-yarder. Thank you, Keyron. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah, so, man, that's a wild turn of events. What is he on the day, our boy Boswell? 2 of 3. There you go. He hit a 59-yarder earlier.
Yeah, I was going to say, he hit a long one earlier. No problem.
Well, it might have been the wind, Tim, or the air conditioner right there in the dome in Detroit. That's wild. Absolutely wild. Man, this season has been just unhinged. Absolutely unhinged.
Like Bates says, a little wonky.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So, all right, and then tonight, of course, we've got some Sunday Night Football. Doesn't have any NFC implications here, Tim, but that should be a dandy. You've got New England at Baltimore. Hopefully, New England takes care of business there and beats Baltimore on down. We'll see. I don't know if there's any playoff implications for Baltimore in this game in terms of if they lose, they're out. I'll see if I can comb through and find something there. But yet the Patriots playing pretty good football, that's for sure. We're on a commercial break, so thoughts up to this point, Tim, sir?
Let's see that steel curtain defense. Let's see if they can stop because Detroit, they're going to push the ball here, and they're at home. You've got, Mr. Dan Campbell is going to be aggressive, I believe, and the Steelers just got to take care of it with their defense because the last thing on earth you want to do is give up a tutter here because that's going to be ball game. So hopefully the defense gets it done.
Let's see if we got anything. We got anything here to show us playoff implications. Looks like this guy tweeted out. I don't know if he covers them or not. Yeah, 107 Yeah, he works for The Athletic in Baltimore covering the Ravens, 107,000 followers. He said, quote, "We have to win out, so that's what we're planning on doing." That was a quote by the Ravens, evidently. All right, this just popped up on the 16th, so this was a few days ago. I'm assuming it still applies. An interesting scenario has popped up. If the Ravens beat the Pats and the Lions beat the Steelers, then Week 17 becomes irrelevant because no one can win the division. If that happens, then both teams could rest their starters for a pseudo playoff game in Pittsburgh for the division. That's a wild scenario.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me make sure this. Yeah, they got 215 followers. That guy might be full of crap. I'm just combing through the scenarios here to see if we got anything else. I'm going to click on that Athletic article real quick. And actually, we're back at the game now. Let's get you guys the important information. Back to the Lions game. All right, we got Goff, Trey right, side corner left, back to pass, fires over the middle, incomplete, almost intercepted. Threw that into coverage.
Boy, if we had $1 for every time we heard that in this ball game.
No doubt, man. Let's see here. Just trying to see. Well, I tell you, The Athletic makes things really, really difficult when it comes to trying to explain playoff scenario here. Let's see. I'm going to ask Grok. Let's go. What is the Ravens playoff scenario as of today?
Oh, that's what Doug's talking about. He mentioned that last night. Next week could be meaningless to the Ravens, possibly.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of looking for, right? As a Packer fan, obviously. So, not that they won't go out there and try to win, but you guys know how it is. All right, Goff just checked it down. We got a 4th and 2 coming up here, Tim. The clock's running, and they are letting the clock run. Nah, they called a timeout. They used their last timeout. Yeah, you got to make sure you get the right play in here. Yeah, so this is going to be a 4th and 2. This is the game right here. This is the game. Grok's still thinking. He must be hungover from last night, Tim. I keep forgetting it's Sunday today.
Me too, man. Longest night ever last night.
Man, it was, dude. Felt so good that entire game. Like, yeah, we got this under control, man. Malik's playing good, blah, blah, blah. And it was just the damn wheels fell off, dude. All right. Paths to win the AFC North. You got to win out 3-0. So you got to beat the Patriots, the Packers, and the Steelers, right? A second scenario is they could split the next 2, right? Or lose both the next 2 with some major help. So, yeah, if they lose tonight is what I'm trying to figure out is the deal here. It looks like they might be both reviewing this catch that the Lions just made. Oh, the ball comes out, Tim. I think it came out. It's moving, bro. That might be.
Oh, okay.
That may be incomplete. If that's the case, then maybe the Lions didn't use a timeout. Maybe the booth called that to take a look at it. That would make sense. So let's see what happens.
Incomplete.
Is that what they said? Incomplete?
That's what we're getting in the chat.
It looks incomplete to me too, but I listen. You guys know how these challenges go, man. As soon as you think, yep, that's it. Nope, it's not. Probably look at the point spread and figure out which way this one's going to go. Am I right? Jeez, Pete, that's been ugly all year. Yeah, he's got it right there. Yeah, he loses it. If they roll this a catch, there's something wrong. They rolled it a catch.
Of course they did.
It's wild, man.
Of course.
How do you have a replay review? Everybody's watching the same thing.
I told you, they're not interested in getting it right. They're interested in influencing the outcome of games. I will die on that hill. That's exactly what we're seeing with this league. It's unfortunate. It really is.
All right, here we go. Got Goff, Trey left this time. Nasty splits in the gun. Sidecar left, 4th and 2. Amon-Ra St. Brown shifts to the right, makes it a dub set. Goff back to pass, fires over the middle. Incomplete if there's no flag. Oh, my God, what a late flag. Tim, did you hear
what I mean? See what I mean, Clay?
Did you hear my delay there? I wasn't exaggerating that. He literally, the receiver stands up, looks at the officials, does this, and then 3 flags come flying in. That is wild. Let's see if they actually roll. Yeah, pass interference. They gave it to him.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. It honestly, it looks like it's pass interference watching the video back in super slow motion. He gets there a little bit early. Of course, Romeo Dobbs should have been a pass interference last night if that's the case. But, it's just a bang-bang play. What are you complaining about? But the thing that got me was they didn't throw the flag until he got up complaining. It's like you could tell that he kind of talked him into it there. So
it's like the same reason I can't watch the NBA anymore. The guys flop every day, and they get calls. It's no fun to watch.
Yeah, it's horrible, man. All right, we got you an update here before they come to the line of scrimmage. If the Baltimore Ravens, actually here they come. We'll give you that update here in just a second on the Ravens playoff scenarios for next week. All right, here we go. 1st and 10. They're at the 49, their own 49. Goff back to pass, looking left, pumps, and he is sacked. And 2 flags come in.
Oh, they're going to give him another 15 yards.
Is this a face mask? Tripping. They get the defense for tripping there. That's a personal foul. You remember last night when Rashawn Gary was rushing the quarterback and the dude dove into the back of his knees and they didn't call it penalty there?
Yeah.
How convenient, right? He did trip him, though, Tim. I'm watching a replay. He tripped the hell out of him. He throws his foot out. Yeah, that's about as blatant as it is. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Oh, we've seen blatant stuff never get called, so I don't even know what to believe anymore, Clay.
It's pretty bad. I mean, he tripped him. Do I like it? No, but he tripped him. What's the chat think? Was that tripping? Does anybody disagree with me? I'm interested to see.
Yeah, no, they all say tripping.
It looked bad, man. Like something Andy does to me in Walmart. Catches me slipping, you know what I mean? Throws that foot out there. Give me a flat tire. All right, Goff back to pass. Looking left. He is hit. The ball comes out short. Yeah, just in case. Grab that ball. There you go. All right. So we got a 2nd and 10 coming up with 1:14 left. So if the Baltimore Ravens lose tonight to the Steelers, they don't play the Steelers tonight. What the hell is this talking about? Grock, you're drunk. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Try that again somewhere else.
Joe Peck, Joe, speaking of non-calls, did the refs pay for Quay's jersey on that game-ending touchdown? Pretty sure it was ripped off.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. I tweeted that out.
Talk about blatant. I mean, that's obvious. I mean, I don't know how you don't see that one.
Oh, my God. Amon-Ra St. Brown on a smoke screen all the way down to the 10-yard line, Tim.
I'll tell you that. How many timeouts does Pittsburgh have?
I don't know. Should show us here on the screen, right? Up top. Does it show timeouts? No.
No. Oh, wait. So Pittsburgh has none, looks like.
Yeah. End zone shot falls incomplete. 45 seconds left, 2nd and 10. What a game, though. Holy cow. The Ravens lose to the Patriots. All right, 2nd and 10, 45 seconds left in the 4th. Empty set. Out of the gun, of course. Goff changes the play, get a little hand signal to the left. Boy, that's a lot of space. They're showing a mug look. Fires it out, smoke screen. All the way down to the 3-yard line for Tesla. 1st and goal for the Lions. The clock is running. Wow. Unbelievable, man. Yeah, so if the Ravens lose tonight, they will not be eliminated yet. Wide open, Amon-Ra St. Brown touchdown. Lions lead. Pittsburgh has no timeouts, and there's 22 seconds left. Just some huge penalties on it. We got a flag. What's the flag?
Hopefully it's on.
Offensive pass interference, Tim.
Let's go.
On Tesla.
Let's go. Oh, got the rookie, huh?
Yeah, they get the rookie on a flag. So that's going to set them back to about the 17-yard line, I guess. Something like that, I believe. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he runs a pick on Amon-Ra St. Brown, essentially. So it was definitely beyond a yard, too. I think that's a rule, right? A yard, so.
So that backs them up outside of the 10 now. Where are they at?
Yeah, they're at the 11-yard line now. Oh, we got a false start.
Oh, yes. Let's go.
Push it back 5 more yards.
Keep on backing up, Detroit.
Back it on up. All right. At the 16 now, says our buddy Allen in the chat.
Nice.
Yeah, Wolfman says back them up some more. Push them on back. All right, here we go. First and goal. Goff back to pass, looking right. Throws across the middle, little angle route to Gibbs. He is down, sir. Go back on the ground. Thank you. 15 seconds left. Hurry up. 13 seconds. What the hell just happened? Why'd they stop the clock? Oh, Detroit had another timeout. Okay, cool. I was like, what in the world just happened? All right, so we got 13 seconds unless they add some time onto the clock, Tim. I will not be surprised if they do that, sir.
They're showing 16 now on our screen here. I don't know if that's accurate.
Yeah, I imagine they called a timeout immediately, so that's probably about right. Chris says 13. Let's see if they change it.
Jen Wright said Williams trying to flop. So is that
I see
what it was?
Yeah. Looked like it. He just all of a sudden collapsed on the field. Joseph Jameson with no shame.
No shame.
So true, man. So true.
We wouldn't expect anything less from the Detroit Lions, right?
Not at all. J. Cole says you got to take a shot to the end zone. I think I agree there, man. Get you a couple shots at the end zone. Maybe 3, to be honest with you. All right, here we go. Goff. Trey left. They're mugging again, dropping out. Goff looking. Steps up in the pocket. Fires. Incomplete. 11 seconds left. 3rd and goal. 2 more plays, Tim. Aaron Rodgers looking on. Got the towel over his face. He can't watch.
Let's go, Steelers. D. Some defense. 2 stops. Get out of here with a win, right?
That should have been intercepted, too, to be honest with you. Goff turned it up, boys. 34 53, 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. Hell of a game for him. That running game been shut down by Pittsburgh. 12 carries for 15 yards. Ooh, empty set, 3rd and goal. Goff back to pass, looks left, throws over the middle. Oh, Tesla had it, Tim. Went up high, had it, and the defender hit him at the same time. The ball is dropped.
Nice.
Incomplete. 4th and goal.
Who was the defender? Was it Porter Jr.?
26. No, 21. I'm sorry. 21, Clark.
Oh, okay.
Man, that was just great timing, too. Hell of a drive. Yeah, here we go. This is the game on the line here. Boys, comes down to this. Dan Campbell got the call in, took his glasses off. Here we go, 4th and goal. Goff sidecar right, ball snapped. A little extra protection, fires. Hits the guy at the 1-yard line. We've got flags flying everywhere. The play should have been blown dead. They allowed him to pitch it back to Goff. Goff scores a touchdown if it stands. The officials are giving no signal.
Illegal shift.
There's 0 time on the clock now. This is a cluster. The officials pointing at each of the other officials like they're going, you understand we're probably going to screw this up, right? Everybody understand that? Okay. Why does it always come down to the officials? Always.
Dirtbags, dude.
Joseph, that's what I'm saying, man. He even added an extra G in there. What the F is happening? Exactly correct. Everybody waiting for the official call. These officials, you couldn't drive a nail up their ass with a jar of Vaseline right now, bro. They are scared to death. They don't know what to do. Goff over there lobbying. They have to push him out of the officials' huddle.
Doug said the refs were talking to each other. How much do you have on the game? Hey, how much do you have on the game? Got to make sure they get it right.
This is unbelievable, man. It might be a touchdown.
Still don't have a call?
But they're still talking about it. Tim, give them a second, Tim. All right? What?
Oh, my gosh.
Isn't this crazy? Let them see if they can figure out a description for how they're going to give this to the Lions here. Yeah, Joseph says not a good look here. I agree, man. That's wild. What could they possibly be talking about that long? They're going to try to pick the flag up.
Wow. That's what they're going to do?
I don't know.
Threw flags and then they're going to pick them up?
I'm asking. I don't know. It looks like it might be an offensive penalty. But we got to see what the result of the play was. Nobody signaled touchdown, right?
Yeah.
Jen Wright says OPI. And judging by the Lions fans' reaction, I think she's probably a little bit ahead of us. Let's wait for confirmation here. Oh, this official looks sick at his stomach, Tim. This is hilarious. It was a touchdown. Pass interference offense.
So that's ball game then. It's over. It's over.
The game is over. There it is. There's no replay by rule there. So ball game is over. Lions lose 29-24, Tim. How does that make you feel, sir? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel excited because I can't stand the Lions or their fan base. So I'm glad they lost. Makes me feel
I love
good.
the chat's reaction. Look at this. Chris the Casual win. This is crazy. Wolfman, Steelers win. Joe Pack Joe, game. Caterpillar, what the hell did I just watch? Alan, wow. We got Reza in here clapping. We got Chad. Wow. Steelers win. Crazy. Detroit loses. That's a better way of saying it. Detroit loses. Right? There you go. Joe Pack Joe, that's right. Rogers always helping Green, baby. You love to see it. You love to see it. Joseph says, imagine how we'd feel if Romeo had recovered that kick. That man, I know, Joseph. I know. But I know, man. Imagine if 7 different things would have went different. Just one of those 7 different things would have went different, right? But that's the National Football League, baby. All right, let's jump over and look at the playoff simulator, Tim. We'll get ready to wrap this thing up. That was fun, man, watching that down the stretch there. That was good stuff. All right, so playoff simulator. Let's make sure everything's up.
Playoffs?
You want to talk about playoffs? Playoffs. All right, let's clear it off. Let's hit refresh. Let's see if Detroit's got the dub or Pittsburgh got the dub. They do. So it is now up to date, the current playoff seeding. This is how it sits in the NFC, guys. The Seahawks are the 1 seed. The Bears are the 2 seed at 11-4. The Eagles are the 3 seed. Panthers are the 4 seed. Rams are the 5 seed. You've got the 49ers at the 6 seed. And you got your Green Bay Packers in the 7th seed as it sits right now. So obviously tonight we kind of talked about it. You want the Patriots to beat the Ravens. However, still didn't get an answer. Did anybody answer that in the chat? Can anybody give me an answer on if the Ravens lose tonight, are they eliminated? I've asked 3 different AIs, and it's like essentially what a Ravens loss means tonight. Baltimore enters Week 16 with a record of 7-7 and still the AFC hunt. With the loss to New England, the Ravens wouldn't be mathematically eliminated from the postseason, yet they'd simply fall further behind in the standings and their playoff chances would shrink. Okay, so yeah, why they're not eliminated, there are still multiple weeks left in the season, blah, blah, blah. Summary, Ravens losing tonight, automatic elimination. So it just literally contradicted itself. Where's Bates at? Is Bates in the chat? All right, so there you go.
Says Ravens not eliminated with a loss.
That's right. And again, I tried Grok, I tried Chat GPT, and nobody could give you. I combed through Twitter, nobody had what happens if they lose tonight. So evidently they will be playing their starters next week, Tim. They will not be eliminated this week. So obviously we're going to get the best version of the Ravens. There you go, Ed Madden. They basically have to win out. So I don't know, Ed, because that's saying that a loss tonight doesn't eliminate them. I know you say basically, it's probably highly unlikely, but we're looking at a scenario next week where whether or not they'll play their starters, right? Or I say play their starters. They're going to play everybody who's healthy, but if somebody's dinged up and it's like, okay, our season's already over, let's shut them down, get a higher draft pick at worst case scenario, right? If you go out there and win, then your young guys get a little bit of experience as well. So anyway, that's how it sits right now. All right. So 49ers and the Colts play tomorrow night on Monday Night Football. So let's talk about those implications. If the Colts win that game, the 49ers are still the 6th seed. They're sitting at 10-5. All right. So that's how they sit if they lose that game. All right. So let's go ahead and jump ahead to next week. And let's talk about the Packers. Let's look at worst case scenario real quick. All right. If the Baltimore Ravens beat the Packers next week, the Packers are still the 7th seed before all the other games are played. So again, the teams that are in the hunt, right, would be looking at the standings, I want to say it was the Lions, right? If I remember correctly. Let me refresh that standings real quick. So it would be the Lions would be the only team in the hunt there, right? The Lions. It looks like Tampa too. Tampa has not been statistically eliminated yet. Of course, that might have something to do with the division. So if the Lions win next week, okay, let's just go ahead and say worst case scenario leading up to our game there against Baltimore, and we lose that game. The 49ers are another team in the hunt. We said Tampa, right? There's no way Tampa could. Actually, they could. Yeah, Tampa could. If Tampa wins their game, and they've got a chance to potentially have a better record than us, I believe, next week, if I remember correctly, in the final week of the season. This is wild, man. This is going to come down to the last week, Tim. That's what we're coming up with here. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
The scheduling committee knew what they were doing, right? You got the NFC North, we're all ending our season against division opponents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't the Bears play Detroit in week 18?
I think they do, yeah.
And we play the Vikings.
So if we lose our game, we're going worst case scenario right now, right? And the Bears win their game there, right? Of course, they're going to lock up the North. That's how that would happen. And then you go into week 18, and let's say the Packers lose that game, right? Then the Lions are in. All right, let's go back to week 17. We got the Lions winning that game, right? So the Lions would be in over us. If we lose out, okay, and the Lions win out, they would get the 7 seed over us, Tim. That's what we're coming up with here, okay? But if the Lions just drop one of those games, let's say they lose to the Vikings, right? We're in at the 7 seed. And if the Lions win in the final week of the season, we're still in. So essentially what it is the Lions have got to win out from here on out, right? That's what we're coming up with. So now let's go back here and let's talk best case scenario, okay? Let's go back to week 16. Go ahead, Tim. What you got, man?
No, I was going to say best case scenario. Let's belt to ass against Baltimore.
Mm-hmm. There it is. Yep.
And then belt to ass against the Vikings.
Well, let's say Bears, we got them beating the 49ers on this model here. Let's say the 49ers win that game and we beat Baltimore, right? The Bears are still in first in the division, okay? So that stays the same. Now let's go to week 18, and let's say that we beat the Vikings there, right? We're first in the division. Yeah.
Wow.
That's with the Lions beating the Bears. However, if the Bears win that game, the Bears are going to win the North. So essentially what it comes down to is we need to win out and the Bears need to lose out, okay? We need to win our next 2 games. The Bears lose their next 2 games. That'd be an epic collapse for them, and we would win the North, right? That's what it would look like. So, yeah, Chris says 9 look good today, LOL. I think he's being sarcastic if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure that they look like cheeks. So let's clear it off again. Week 16. The Vikings, they did get a win today, but I think he had to leave the game. 9 did, right? If I remember right. So that's funny that we're calling him 9, and it's not in a positive manner either, is it, Tim? It's kind of this
he started joke. That. He brought it on himself, right?
Absolutely, man. Did it to yourself, bub. Learn to keep your mouth shut. That's the way that works. So that's kind of what we're looking at, man. The Lions, if I'm looking at it correctly, Tim, and I'm hitting refresh just to make sure information ain't coming in late, the only teams that are still in the hunt here, you've got the Carolina Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers win their last 2 games, they would be 9-8, right? And the Packers would be like if the Packers lose out, they would be 9-7-1. They're still above Tampa. So there's no way that Tampa can surpass Green Bay. The reason they haven't been eliminated is because they could still potentially win their division, right?
Right.
So with Carolina, that's the big thing. So let's walk back through that one more time, clear everything off. And let's say that Carolina won today, right? Yep. So next week, let's say we lose here, all right? And let's say that Tampa wins out, all right? If Tampa wins out, they're in first there. And now Carolina in week 17, if the Carolina Panthers – where are you at, sir? Where are the Panthers? Right here in front of me. Duh. Let's say they win, all right? And then in week 18, let's say that Tampa wins again. We've already got it in. Oh, they play Carolina. Holy cow, Tim.
Yeah.
Week 18 is Carolina and Tampa, possibly for the division there. So
the crazy thing would be, like you said, them beating Seattle in week 17. That would put the NFC on notice for sure.
Yeah.
If they're able to get a win there.
Right. And yeah, so here we go. I think Joe's got it here. Carolina either gets 8 wins or the division, no wild card. Yeah. That's what it sounds like. So if Carolina wins that game, they get the division, but we're still the 7th seed. Right. And that's before our game. So if the Vikings win that game, we still, when it comes to us in Carolina or Tampa, there's nothing they can do to knock us out of the number 7 seed, those teams. So now we're down to, back to the standings here, we're down to X Tampa off, X Carolina off. You're down to Detroit. That's it. It's just us in Detroit.
Yep.
So that's where we're keyed in at. Clear it off. How does Detroit beat us out of the playoffs here, boys? Again, if we lose to Baltimore and the Lions beat the Vikings, we're still the 7th seed next week. Okay. Week 18, if we lose to the Vikings and the Lions win, and if we lose to the Vikings and the Lions win, they're the 7th seed. If we lose to the Vikings and the Bears win over the Lions, we're the 7th seed. So that's wild. To think that the Packers could lose their last 2 games and still get in as the 7th seed is absolutely crazy at 9-7-1. Because we started the season talking about the conversation. Coach McCarthy used to say, win 10 and you're in, right? Well, the way the North was kind of shaking out and the rest of the NFC looking strong this year, we were saying, hell, you might win 11 and not get in. You need to get to 12, right? That's why I kept saying, I don't want to put words in your all's mouth. I kept saying, you can lose 2 more games. Well, we've lost those 2 games now. And now the reality is with the shakeup of everything, if you lose the next 2, you can still get in. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. So,
but you want to take care of business, though, right? We don't.
Absolutely, yeah.
You don't want to depend on help we might not even get.
No. But the point is, what are the scenarios? Yeah, when we're talking this stuff, when I'm talking this stuff, I'm not saying, all right, guys, let's go out there and lose some ball games. That's not what I'm saying. You're just trying to look at, all right, what's the scenario if this happens? Because it goes back to what somebody said earlier in the chat, and you guys remind me in the chat who it was, but. You know, we were kind of talking about this on the surface, and it's like somebody said, just sit him next week. And I'm like, you can't sit him because you need to win that ball game or else you're going to be eliminated. That's not the case. Really what it comes down to is, like I said, clearing it off. If you sit them next week and Baltimore wins, right, and let's say Detroit wins their game, then you get your starters back in week 18. That's what it comes down to. You could lose in week 17 against the Ravens and still control your destiny in week 18. That's what we're trying to say. So that's just an interesting little nugget. But I'm with you, Tim. Yeah, you want to win every game, man. Yeah. It's that easy, right? So just win on Saturday. Hell, why didn't we do that yesterday? That's not how it works, right? Especially when you're banged up. Everybody but the towel boy's injured, right? So, yeah. Crazy here. Let's see what Joseph says. He said, it's a miracle if we are competitive in any games with so many star players injured. I get what you're saying, Joseph. Completely understand, man. I was damn proud of that team last night, man. If you get out of Chicago with that win, with all those injuries you had, that's what makes it so frustrating with the Keyshawn blowing the coverage, Romeo dropping the onside kick, Matt LaFleur not taking the 3 earlier. There's a number of different things that you can go through. Hell, if they call holding on the offensive lineman that's got, Quay's jersey stretched out to 4 feet long, right? Like, that's just wild. So,
and we had some things that did go our way also. There was a lot of things that went our way in that game as well. We benefited from some calls, but it's frustrating as hell to lose a game like that when you were up 2 scores.
It's funny you say that because I was talking to Mandy about this earlier. I'm like, what's so wild about that game is the Bears got penalized way more than us, right? But it's almost like they just kept playing, like just keep being aggressive, rather than playing a little bit like, oh, you can't make a mistake. Right. I swear, Tim, I think it benefits you to just go out there and be aggressive. They might not call it seems like they're not going to call the penalty more often than they're going to call it, especially on holds. My goodness. Yep. You see it every week. So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Here we go. The magic number theory, dark arts poker. Magic number equals 1. Packers win or the Lions loss. And it's so wide open. Just make the playoffs. Anything can happen. Amen. And try to get healthy.
Get healthy, yeah.
That's the big thing. Have the best opportunity to. So, definitely. Got Daryl in the chat. Daryl says, little prediction. He says Packers finish the season 11-5-1, second year in a row. I can see it, Daryl. I can see it. That'd be awesome. I think that's the most likely scenario. I think we have a better team than Baltimore when we're semi-healthy, right?
Yeah.
And I think we got a better team than the Minnesota Vikings. I do.
Minnesota's banged up too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. We got a couple more minutes here. I'm gonna hop back over here, close that out. And I want to see what the Vikings did today because we're kind of looking at. We'll look at the Ravens a little bit too. Well, the Ravens haven't played yet, obviously, so we'll take a quick glance at the Vikings game. Did you get any of that? I tried to watch a little bit of it earlier, Tim, but I was so occupied with other things going on, I didn't get a chance to dive too much into it. Did you watch any of the Vikings?
Okay. No, all I got to see was the beginning of the Steelers-Lions game.
Gotcha. All right, so let's take a look at what happened in the Vikings game. Like I said, we just got a couple minutes here. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you would hit that like button, this is fun, man. Watching a little football with everybody and kind of going through the playoff scenarios. You only get to do this once a year, right? So here's what we had. J.J. McCarthy ended up leaving, I think, with a right hand injury, if I remember correctly. 9 of 14, 108 yards and a pick. Max Brosmer came in 7 of 9, 52 yards. Aaron Jones, 21 carries for 85 yards. J.J. McCarthy did have 2 scrambles for 20, along with the touchdown. So in terms of their defense, what in the hell happened to the Giants' offense? Jackson Dart was 7 of 13 for 33 yards passing and an interception. Tim. He was sacked 5 times.
Wow.
I think I seen a stat go across Red Zone channel earlier today that said they didn't have a single passing yard in the first half. The Giants did.
Yikes.
It's crazy, right? There you go. J. Cole says Dart played awful. Yes, he did, sir. So again, with the Vikings, why did they win this game? Justin Jefferson, six catches for 85 yards. Obviously, you got to stop him. Jordan Addison, I think that interception, I will say this, J.J. McCarthy's interception, I did see that one live. Bounced, I think, off of Addison's hand, so it wasn't really McCarthy's fault in that situation. But again, with his injury, we'll have to keep an eye on that as well. So there you go.
Yeah, so we know who's the backup in Minnesota?
Brosmer. Yeah.
Brosmer. Okay.
And honestly, I got to be real with you. I could see Kevin O'Connell getting more out of him than JJ right now. JJ's going to make those. I could see Brosmer just kind of managing the game, and that might be exactly what they need. But as I was watching that game earlier too, Tim, I'm thinking these boys can't scramble around like Caleb did last night. I thought our defense played damn good. Am I wrong there, Tim? I felt like they had a great game last night.
I thought so, considering how banged up we were going into it. I thought, we played 95% of flawless football.
Yeah, I mean, we held them to 6 points until 5 minutes left in the game. Is that what it was?
Yep. And other than that one, they had one chunk run or something, I think. Other than that, we did pretty good against the running attack.
Yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy. All right. I think we're good, man. I think we covered everything pretty good today. Is there anything else you'd like to hit before we wrap up, Tim? I appreciate you jumping in here, man.
Yeah, I'm with Brett right here. Shaking off the rough day, but things are already starting to turn. It's always go, Pack, go. That's right.
Amen.
Keep it positive. It ain't over till it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody just said the Broncos suck. What's going on there, Tim?
I don't know. Are they lost?
Let's take a look real quick. Let's see what's going on with the score. That's wild. Let's see. Broncos, Jaguars beat them by 14 points, man. The Jaguars are National Football League, boys. The difference between the worst team and the best team is this right here. It's amazing. Every single week you see this. So crazy. So Mr. Duval got them boys humming down there, man. Wild.
Yeah.
Wild to think about.
Fabio at quarterback, man, getting it done.
Yep. All right, that's it, guys. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. This was a lot of fun. Tim, appreciate your time. We'll be back tomorrow. Probably go live throughout the day if we get more injury news. And, again, if you're tuning in because you've seen the title here that said, hey, huge quarterback info, just go back to the beginning of the show, first 10, 15 minutes. That's what we covered. I think it is huge. So we got to keep an eye on Jordan Love coming out of concussion protocol. Hopefully everything goes good there. And hopefully Malik Willis's shoulder is good to go by Saturday as well. That way you're full strength at the quarterback position. If not, then you may have to activate Clayton Tune as a backup quarterback. And then, of course, the emergency quarterback, as we learned today, were Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed. So a little bit.
We got a super chat in here, Clay. I'm trying to find it.
All right, cool. I know we got Bears fans coming through trying to find Packers stuff. I get it right here, Tim. Sorry, I missed this, Caterpillar. Dang, man.
Caterpillar in the chat. There it is.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Caterpillar. With the super chat. Thank you, Bob. Says, so, Tim, my girl was showering when y'all – hold up a minute now.
Hold on a second.
What am I reading?
Jacob's burner?
What am I reading here? All right. Okay.
Put y'all on the big TV. What does this say?
I'm going to read it because he paid a super chat. Hopefully don't get canceled. Caterpillar with the super chat says, so, Tim, this is directed toward you. I have nothing to do with this one. My girl was showering when y'all went live, so I put y'all on the big TV. Now the love of my life just walked in and said, oh, who's that cute guy on the bottom? Unsubscribing. Thought you'd like it.
Caterpillar's unsubscribing?
Damn.
Happily married, brother. Happily married.
Yeah. We need you to know something.
Appreciate that, though. Thank you.
We need you to know something, Caterpillar. Bros before ladies. All right? So you stay sub to the channel and tell her that she's not the one for you. All right? That's how I would handle it. That's my advice to you, sir. And if you need a place to stay, Jacob's got you covered. All right?
Yep.
So there you go. Thank you for the super. That is a funny super.
Yeah, thanks for the super. That's awesome.
Didn't know what direction that was going. But with that being said, thanks, everybody. Number one back facts. LOL. That's right, man. With that being said, I'm going to go down here and try to make up with my wife. She's probably mad at me that we went long on this stream. So
I'm going to do the same thing.
There you go.
Get ready for tomorrow night. We're back tomorrow night, right? 6 o'clock.
That's right. Yeah. Probably do a live stream or two during the day. We'll see how everything goes. But yeah, we'll definitely be live tomorrow night. We're going to hit the PFF grades tonight. We'll just bend that into tomorrow. There's a little bit of good there. A little bit of good. I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised. But with that being said, everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. Hit like, hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank you, Bates. Appreciate you, buddy. Everybody in the chat, y'all are awesome. It's always great talking ball with y'all. So we'll see you tomorrow. My name's Clayton. That's Tim. This is PTA. Go Pack, go.
Here we go.
Nice.
Bye, guys.